hopefully for the next day. Max 2 days. You lose them. If it's more than 2 days, you lose them. So, team, guess what? Morning, same thing. Voicemail, phone call. Hey, we got you set up for a team training appointment today at 6 o'clock. Who's doing this call? Right. The fitness consultant that toured them. Then, lunch. Phone call, voicemail. By who? Who do you think? Nope.
Me.
Nope. Who's teaching the team?
The trainer.
Right. That's who's making that. So, team coach. Then 3, we'll go one-on-one. And that's probably going to be Cassie right now until we bring our people up to speed, because we have a couple trainers right now. They're not really in the culture yet. They're not really staff. So until they're brought up to speed on how our system works, I don't want to take the chance that they're selling them like whatever Melaleuca or any of that goofy stuff that's going on right now. So we got to fix a few things first. So right now, Cassie's going to be the go-to person. Then number 4, this here, we need 2 days in between these because we don't want them to work out 2 days in a row. We're telling these people they got unlimited, but we're deciding when they come in. Their coach is they're going to design their program for them. So they're going to say, hey, I've got you coming in 3 days a week. I need you to rest 1 day in between. You're welcome to come in and do a little cardio on your off days if you want. But we need time for the muscles to repair from the workout so that we can improve and get in better shape and all that good stuff. So this one here, I want 2 days in between. And then again, 2 days here. So hypothetically, we're at Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, assessment. Tuesday, Thursday, guess what? We're now into their second week. They got 15 days. I don't want them in every session for their first week. So we're giving them a break in between. So this one might be their next week. So this one now would be another team. So we got 2 right here. Morning, lunch. Morning, lunch. It's a lot of follow-up. It's a lot of work. But there's a payoff at the end. And they may not answer, and that's okay. They still know we care. If they don't answer, it's probably better for us because we touched them without having to spend a bunch of time on the phone with them, so it makes time go by faster. Then our next one might be a semi-private. So this is another good question that Rebecca brought up last week. Is we don't really have team right now at its full capacity. We got to get this thing full. We're taking somebody on a tour, and a team training is going on right now, but there's only 2 people in there. Guess what it is that day as we're walking by? It's a semi-private. Hey, this is a semi-private that's going right now. See, we have a trainer working with 2 people. They're getting one-on-one personal training, but it's way cheaper. Does that make sense? Yeah. So we might modify what we say based on what's going on at that time. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. A lot of sense.
So because we're recording this, I'm expecting you guys to be studying this video and watching this video over and over again so that you guys can implement, practice, role play, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we work on a team. We are all a team. So number one, we have to support each other. So right now, Alvin did a bunch of tours in August. He had a bunch of prospects. Who were Alvin's prospects? What's their names? You don't know, right? How would we know? We're going to know who everybody's prospects are. We're going to have a list of every tour that's come in, who toured them, and where that tour stands right now. So it'll say, okay, came in, never came back. Came in, had their assessment, is now set up for a team training appointment. We'll know that about everybody. So if I'm standing at the front counter and a prospect walks in, I'm going to ask somebody, hey, what's his name? You guys should know what the name is. So we're going to keep this box at the front counter. This is our prospect box. Prospect box. So anybody that's a prospect in the club, that's come in the club either for a trial or just 3-day pass or whatever, they're going to have a card with their name on it, and it's going to sit in this box. And when they come into the club, Frank is going to pull that name out, and if there's no name, if it's their first time or we don't have it, he's going to write the name on it, and we're going to find a place behind the counter where it sits. And everybody in the club has to keep checking that. They're going to keep checking every 15 minutes. They're going to come up to the front counter and they're going to see if there's any prospects in the club. And then they're going to say to the front desk person, hey, John Smith, who's John Smith? What does he look like? They're going to say, oh, you know, he's this age, he's wearing this color shirt, and I think he went that direction. And you're going to go, great. And you're going to go find him, introduce yourself to him, ask him if he has any questions, see if he likes it so far, and it doesn't matter whose prospect it is. We're going to support each other. Because the overall closing ratio goes up if we create the culture. So we want to come across as the most caring group of people ever in history. So this is going to be at the front desk. I'm just going to write down splits. In my world, if it doesn't get written down, it didn't get done. You have to prove everything. It's not that I don't trust any individual. I just don't trust salespeople in general. I've been doing this for a long time. So we use a term called, we don't want the fox guarding the chicken coop, meaning that the fox likes to eat chickens. So I'm not going to put him in charge of guarding the chicken coop because they're all going to disappear. So we have a daily report. So those binders I give you, I didn't save one for myself. This is going to be your daily report log. So when it's opened up, you're going to have, it's going to open up like this. So you're going to have this on one side, and it's going to open up, and you're going to have your call log on the other side. So now you have a prospect that came in on a 3-day pass, or you have a prospect that's now on their jumpstart trial, and they're in the club. And Alvin toured that person. We went through the whole protocol that was just on the board. He's made his follow-up. He's confirmed his appointments. He's sent the thank you card. He's following up with them to make sure they like it and if they have any questions. But now Andrea signs them up because Alvin's not there. There's no splits. That's Alvin's person. He followed up. He proved it on his sheet. He did his job. That means Alvin gets full commission on that. But when Alvin's working, maybe Andrea's person comes in. So we're all part of the closing ratio. So when there's somebody in the club and we're all going to that person, making sure they're happy, asking them if they have any questions. We're all helping that closing ratio for that other person. And then they're helping us when we're not here. So it's a group environment. We're all trusting each other. And what normally happens, and I don't know if this is happening here, but what normally happens is you have a group of salespeople. Everybody's going after commissions. It's a competitive environment just because everybody wants to make money. And now so-and-so trained that gave that person the tour, and they walk in to start their shift. Alvin's over there chatting them up. They're like, well, wait a minute, that's my person. What's Alvin doing over there chatting that person up? Hope he doesn't think I'm going to split commission with him. It's not going to happen anymore. We want Alvin to go over there and say hi. We want all of us to go over there and say hi. As soon as you walked in, you should know if you have a prospect in the club of your own, you should walk in and say hi. So we're all helping each other out. So all of our appointments each day will go on here. Anything that we need to do, stuff on our daily checklist, things we have to get done that day, and then the phone calls that we have to make. So Summer, actually, when we were talking and working together the other day, she had her box, what we call as a tickler file in our old world, and she had all of her scrap pieces of paper in there of her following up on people. She didn't have a system like this. So now she can write her prospect down on her call log. What happened in that phone call? Left a message. Guess what's going to happen? She's going to flip 2 days, and she's going to put that person down again on that day. That way nobody gets lost. If she talked to them, there'll be a note of what happened in that call. Oh yeah, I set them up for an assessment. So right now, you've got prospects from August. You've got past prospects from previous months that didn't sign up. We're calling everybody back. Cassie's going to start calling all the old members that signed up over the last 90 days, and she's going to get in touch with them, introduce herself, hopefully set them up for an assessment. You guys are going to go back over the last 90 days, anybody that didn't sign up, all your prospects, and you're going to invite them in for a trial. And the trial, even though it's not a 15-day jump start, which we charge $47 for, if you can do it and get away with it, go for it. But I just want them back in the club because I want to fill up team training. They're not going to come in on their own. They're not just going to get a 2-week pass. They're going to follow the protocol that we just laid out. So you're going to call them, introduce yourself, talk about the jump start. It's $47, but we're going to give them to them for free and set them up for an appointment with an assessment. So that'll be on your sheet. So now, John Smith, set up for assessment. What are you going to do on the next day? You've got morning and lunch calls to make. Tomorrow, they're set up for an assessment. So you're going to set them up on that day. Oh, I've got to call and confirm this person that they're going to show up for their appointment at 12 o'clock. So every day there's going to be a list of calls. Now, what if you're not working at that time? Here's my rule. I don't care where you're at. I don't care if you're at home. I don't care if you're on a sailboat. You make your calls. Because sales isn't about how much time you're at work. Sales is setting up the money for when you get at work. So I know it's hard, especially if you have a life or you have another job. You have schoolwork. You've got to schedule your day so that you can make a call. But it's not like we have 100 prospects for each person. There's not that many. It's not that hard. It's only a couple calls. And if the prospect knows that you called when you're not even at work just to check in on them, it means a lot. It means they matter. So all the stuff that we've talked about today, it's a lot. I know it's a lot. It's going to be a work in progress. Do your best until we get it all implemented. We'll start being more critical about the steps as you get farther along. But where we're going to start is every day we're going to have what's called a 5:15 meeting. So I'm going to meet with you, each of you, at the beginning of your shift every day. And the 5:15 meeting is 5 things that we cover in 15 minutes. So number 1, where are we at for the club? And where are we at personally? So hypothetically, I've got this guy in Arizona that I work with. I started working with him probably 1999. He handed the club to his son. Started working with him. Now he's handed the club to his son. Same type of club as this. I call him at the club and say, hey, how's your day? He doesn't respond good. Hey, how's our month going? He doesn't respond good. He says, here's where we are for memberships. Here's where our receivables base is. And he just gives me a list of numbers. So that's what we're going to start doing. How many prospects have you had so far? How many tours have you done? How many were set up for assessments? What's your ratio of each? What's your closing percentages? Who do you have still on a trial? That's what this is for. What do we need to do today? Follow up. Calls we have to make, who we're going to call. Oh, I already covered this one. Success journal, which is this. Again, I'm going to look at everything. I'm going to look at it in detail. It's not that I don't trust you. I hope it's not offensive. It's just that the more focused we are, the more we can implement faster, and the more money we all make. And we're going to set a plan for the day. Okay, what do we need to do today? But something that's not on here, which I'm going to add a number 6. We're going to go 6:15 meeting. Obstacles. This is the biggest thing. Because you're not going to be able to implement all this stuff at one time. So I'm going to have to gradually train you. So I'm going to be expecting you to keep going through the video and practicing, role-playing, ask me questions, things I missed, things I glossed over, things you want clarity on. But even once your system's implemented, you're going to run into obstacles. This guy did this. This guy said that. This guy told me this. How should I respond? I've got a response for every objection you can imagine. So we're going to keep training every week. You keep training. You do staff training every day. You do staff training every week. Because that's how you get better. That's how you hone your skills. Also, we have a term we call program erosion. And what that means is that in the beginning, everybody's all gung-ho. And they're doing everything to a T. All the numbers are going up. And then gradually they get lackadaisical because they think they know it all now. And then they forget to say this over here. And then they forget to say that over here. And then ultimately they forget completely about this over here. And the numbers start to drop. So in order for program erosion not to occur, we have to keep going over this stuff. So the stuff that we talked about here, we're going to go over it even after this whole system is established. We're still going to go over it once a week, once every couple weeks, just to make sure that everybody's doing it exactly the way that we first started. So it's never going to end. And that's part of my job, is to make sure that we're role-playing and we're practicing and we're going through this stuff every single day, overcoming obstacles, fixing stuff, making sure that you're getting better at your job so you can make more money. Does it make sense? Cool. So that's all I got. I know it's a lot.
So we starting to use this today?
Yeah.
So this is like our copy, so they don't get anything?
No, I'm going to print 100 of them.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, every tour gets one.
This is what I'm using for in the assessment too when I show them training prices?
Yeah, you could. Yeah. Yeah, and it's for a tour, but you can watch the video too, or I can go through it again with you after we're done on the stuff you missed. It's pretty detailed.
Yeah, they missed a lot.
Yeah.
And then Rebecca, did you have stuff you needed
Well,
Do you have real quick to go through the Healthway stuff? She's got some insurance stuff she needs to cover.
Does everybody have time or y'all need some time?
we have to downstairs and not.